I could open up the schedule. I could see 5 more patients on a Tuesday, 5 more patients on a Wednesday. I got 10 more patients total. I'm going to get there quicker. You bought yourself maybe 6 months. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD podcast. I'm doing a recap of how far I've come in the past year, the keys to success in optometric practice in a specialty that I've observed from observing the best in the business. Closing thought of the episode. This is the Ultimate OD podcast. Here we go. It's been a crazy, fun, amazing year. In October, it will be 1 year since I moved to the new location and made a bunch of different changes. And I will tell you this for now, I wish I would have done it sooner. It's been the best, most fun I've had in a long time. It's also been probably the most stressful, figuring out on the fly. I want to do a recap. One of the things that I've read recently is that we have an ideal in our minds of where we should be. When we look at the ideal, we should treat that like the horizon. It helps guide you in the direction you're going, but you're never going to get it. And Dan Sullivan and Ben Hardy, I believe, say that from where you are to the horizon, that ideal is the gap, and where you started to where you're actually at is the gain, right? The gain, when you look back, is what keeps you in the state of happiness, excitement, fulfillment. And when I look back at the past year, I just want to go over a couple of things. The new office, really nerve-wracking, a lot of freaking money spent, but well worth it. And I honestly say this in all seriousness, are probably going to outgrow this in a year. We have grown that much. We are doing that much volume. I wish I had more space. And I'm fine with that. Goldfish will grow to the size of its bowl. You need to have a big enough bowl. I stayed where I was for far too long. And part of that was fear and ego. Fear that the overhead was going to be more. I wouldn't be able to do this. How could I possibly see more patients? And that goes back to me not understanding that I was chasing volume, right? Remember when I talk about the middle 50%, we're all fighting over the same stuff. When you get to the top, 10%, that's where you set yourself apart. That's where it's fun. That's what you need to focus on. And I was chasing volume of managed care. My revenue per patient the past 2 months, me and the other doctor have been over like $650. Like, that's great. We were at $350 then, right? Because I was just chasing volume, managed care, doing glasses, not really chasing my passion. And I'll elaborate on that further. But so we started the new office, and then the thing I did immediately, like the week after we moved in, we added a new doctor. So I added a ton of complexity to the system all at once. I had new staff, new environment, new doctor, new environment, and it was a little bit of chaos. A lot of chaos. But I knew what I was doing deep down. I knew that we would get there, and I just went after it. And the biggest thing that you will see when you are going to hire a new doctor is that you see their total wage for the year. And you're like, holy cow. Break it down by day, right? How much do they need to make this day to make it make sense? Day at a time, brick by brick. That is one of the things that I think I learned along the way. Now, there's going to be times where, well, for me, there were times when I'm like, am I going to make payroll? Do I have to skip a paycheck here or there? And that's because I added so much complexity to the system. Had I moved to the new spot, got my feet under me, then added a new doctor, it would have been much easier, right? But I didn't do that. Why not make it crazy all at once? But when you go to add that other doctor, it's not as complex as you think it's going to be. Talk to me. I can guide you on some of the things that I've done that have worked. But finding the right fit, I praise the Lord that I had the good fortune to hire who I did. Not only has it been the best hire for the time, it's the best possible hire to grow what I'm trying to build. Remember, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Get the right people on your team. I am diligently doing that. There's a lot of other things I can tell you. We can have podcasts about it, even this. You have to have a good culture. I went into this without a good culture, without good leadership, without good protocols. Thankfully, I feel I'm very good at organizing that, getting it in check, and I've overcome that. If that leadership is not one of your fortes, talk to me. Send me a message, and we will talk. I'll go over what that looks like and what it has, what infrastructure you need to make this as smooth as possible. Okay. I told the other doc, hey, we're going to hire you. We're going to hire another doctor. I want to do it by the end of 2025. Could have. The doctor I was talking to didn't work out. Um, and that's a story for another episode. But got a lot of good doctors that are going to graduate in 26. I'm going to hire one of them. Have some ideas in mind. But I got ahead of the game because I tried this previously. It takes a long time to recruit doctors, build relationships, get doctors that want to be where you're at and have the right vision. Remember where you were in end of third year, beginning of fourth. Not a stinking clue. Even the end of fourth year, you still don't really know. Do your due diligence and then know what you're hiring for. Know what the vision is. Know what their vision is. I will tell you, you want to keep a happy associate, find out what their dreams are and make it a reality. Realize that's going to change. Coming out of fourth year, they have no clue. Right? But you can kind of show them what it's going to be. And my big thing is I want you to be intimidated by what I'm putting in front of you. This is what I have. This is what we're going to do. Let's stinking go. Right? Either they're on it and they're on board or they're not. But I don't want people that aren't committed to the mission. Okay? But I told her we're going to hire one. Look at me a little crazy, but we're here and we could use a doctor by the end of the year. The beginning of next year, when we hire that doctor, when they actually come on, we're going to be more than ready. Awesome. It's timing out great. I chalk that up as a huge win. Designing my office. I did a great job designing the office, but I've already made a lot of changes. Okay? I've told you time and time again, you need to have a vision, right? You need to have a vision. I've had a vision, I put it in place, and then I've tweaked it a little bit. And that's going all in on ocular surface disease, dry eye. That's what I'm going to do. I want to create a tertiary care clinic for Rejuvenation Dry Eye Center, RDEC, affectionately referred to as. Right? RDEC is where I want to go, what I want to build, where my passion is. Same with my associate, whoever I hire, better like RDEC. Right? Period. Well, I had 4 primary care rooms, 2 treatment rooms. I converted one of the primary care to another treatment room. We're getting that busy. I've invested in technology. After AOA, I got the bug. I'm like, let's go. And that gets us to the moral of this episode. I like looking back or seeing where I've been. Now, let me give you some juice. Let me give you some legitimate wisdom that you can apply to your practice, how you're going to grow it, and how you're going to build it. I just got back from the Twin Cities Ocular Surface Disease Conference. I was honored to be on stage with Cecilia Coding, Joey Allen, Jake Lang, Dr. Fahmy, I think Ahmed is his first name, Laura Perriman, and Damon Dierker, and then me. Right? I am probably the least known by far out of every single one of those doctors, but I got in the arena. I'm pumped that I got in the arena. Big smile on my face right now. I've been working, grinding, hustling, trying to get in that door. I think I can practice at that level. I can give wisdom at that level. I can give insight. And the cool thing was, not an ounce of me was intimidated, nervous, or whatnot. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've done this podcast for the past, 5 years. I've been on the videos. I've been talking to the reps. I've been really networking hard. I think P3, Fuji, love you guys, has been one of the biggest things that has given me confidence that we can hang. I can hang. I can be in that arena. And got up there and they asked questions. I gave my 2 cents. I was not intimidated. And then I helped coach a cohort for 4 groups of doctors, 20 minutes each, about how to use Tixel, how I'm implementing it, what I'm doing. I think it's a game changer. I think it's an awesome, awesome device, but I had so much fun, right? So the thing I'm going to teach you about, I want to share with you is I've been networking incredibly hard with incredibly successful doctors the past 2.5 years, really going after it. And these are elite business owners, crazy intelligent doctors, business owners that are the cutting edge of the profession that we look to when we go to lectures. And every time I go to a lecture, would I have done that? Am I going to see things that way? What would I have done? And now, because of Ardec, I'm implementing that. There's 3 things that I will say that I think we need to do to be successful in our practices, to be at that level that they do that we might not have done yet. Okay? Number 1 is you have to simplify what you are doing. All right, in every aspect of what we're doing, simplification of a complex system is how you scale. Okay? When it comes to the office, how can you simplify how you run things? When it comes to dry eye, that's what my passion is. Whether it's ocular surface disease or ocular disease or myopia management, what are the basic simple steps? When it comes to dry eye, I think the 2 things that you got to realize, there's inflammation and there's obstruction, right? Address inflammation at all times, deal with the obstruction. That really is dry eye in a nutshell. We make it complicated. There's a lot of different paradigms, a lot of different routes you could go. A lot of offices, a lot of practices are limited in what they have to offer. You've made it even simpler in that sense. When you get to the complex system, when you have every single device, it's going to be a little bit harder to come up with your treatment paradigm, but do it, right? Simplify and have an order of operations that you like to operate within. Okay. And again, this can apply to every aspect of your practice. I'm applying it to dry eye right now because that's where my heart and energy is right now. Simplify. All right. When I was talking to a lot of doctors, when they get up on stage, when we're talking, they all know what to do. It's they make it a little more complex than it has to be. We're looking at a meibomian gland dysfunction patient. Is there inflammation? Are you addressing it? Is there obstruction? Are you addressing it? There's a lot of nuance, a lot of crazy details that are going to alter the route you're going, but they're using the same things that we have access to, right? Pharmaceutical options. Methods to get rid of obstruction. Heat mask, boo. But LipiFlow, iLux, Tear Care, Tixel. Look up Tixel. Talk to me if you want to talk about Tixel. I think it's amazing. 2-minute procedure, great for primary care, and 2-minute total. 6 months of results, if not longer. Love it. Obstruction. Inflammation, we got IPL, we got omegas, right? What else can we do to get the inflammation down? Systemic medications, rheumatology, right? Go to root cause. Sleep, diet, all of these things matter. How can we address the inflammation? I know I'm making it sound simple. It's very complex. It's fun. Every patient is different. Every patient has a different, story. But at the end of the day, our tools are roughly the same, right? So simplify that down. Number 2, you have to commit. Talking to a lot of the doctors at the conference, some all in, this is what we do. Others, I'm seeing red eyes. I'm seeing primary care. We have glaucoma, open globe. They are a mile wide, but only an inch deep, right? I've been there. You can make a great living as a practice owner, but you want to be elite. You want to go to that next level. I think you got to narrow down. I talked to one of my mentors, Julie Helmus, and she's on the mindset. Every patient that comes in, she has an option for them. She likes that mentality. I still stand by. I like being narrow, like a laser focused, right? You got to pick and choose, but I think to be the best, to be that tertiary care center, not the primary care that I want to get out of, you got to laser down. You got to focus it, right? But you got to commit. Right? This costs money. One of the things I've done that has shown the biggest growth, I brought the new office in. I got interior seg slit lamps that have cameras, mybography, the dry eye suite for me and my associate. Boom. That was not cheap. We brought in Tixel and Tixel I and Tixel C. Dry eye aesthetics. Not cheap. Brought in RF, radio frequency. Not cheap. We have the IPL. We have the gauntlet of options. Want to get my meibomian gland probing? I think that's the next thing that is I'm going to add to the practice. I think there's a definite need to it. Got to get a little bit more education on it, but I am going to reach out and figure that out. My associate really wants PRP drops. I think that's going to be something we add at some point. Like I said, we put a small house on the on the old credit card, if you will, right now. But you got to commit. You got to have a plan that when you bring things in, you're going to get an ROI out of them. Buying the device is not commitment in my mind. Again, a mistake that I think a lot of us made in 2020 when we bought those IPLs. At the conference, the device that most people had, the majority of offices had, was an IPL. They did a great job of saturating that market. When I talk to other doctors, the device that we have not been able to utilize or is not a cure-all is the IPL device, right? Made a lot of other people gun shy. IPL is amazing, does awesome things. It is not a cure-all. If you're selling treatments, you're not going to be happy or successful because they're still going to have an issue and you didn't cure anything, right? Commit to the craft. Whether that's myopia or ocular surface or glaucoma, it is an ongoing conversation. It is a passion. Because if you don't enjoy it, you're going to burn out because they're going to keep coming back. They're never going to be cured. Right? There's a lot of things that we can do to get them better and functioning at a higher level, but you have to enjoy it. Right? Commitment is not buying the device. Commitment is setting up your practice and your protocols to make that work. Right? And that's where I think a lot of these doctors that are looking at these devices, I love them. I'm utilizing them. That's how we've increased our revenue per patient, but it's helping out more patients. But we have a plan to implement them. Do you have an implementation plan? I firmly believe you need to have an implementation plan before you buy a device. Or you need to be like me, who knows they can jump off a cliff and learn how to fly on the way down. Okay? I can see the device, I can see it. I'm like, I know there's a spot for that in my office. I will make this work. I have enough of that foresight that I will make that happen. Right? It may seem like I make decisions on a whim, but I have been thinking about them day and night for years. I kid you not. It's just what I love to do. I like to talk to other doctors and how are you doing this? What are you doing? And then a conversation I had like a year ago, I'm like, all right, I got that. I'm implementing that. Like, I don't know why it took me so long to get the interior segment cameras, but for a year and a half, I've had doctors that are in my P3 group telling me, this is amazing. Do this and your practice will grow. And I was like, they're really successful. They're doing awesome. What I want to do, and I was hesitant to pull the trigger. But then I got to the point, I'm like, what am I doing? Just make it happen. And the reason I couldn't do it is because I was on a volume game for managed care and I couldn't fit it in the time. To the credit of my associate, she's like, need more time. I'll give a better exam. Trust me. We did, and she's killing it. I did it, and I'm amazed at how much more effective I am as a doctor. Don't get in the rat race. It's honestly a big thing. So, simplify, have a commitment, and then the other two things I'll combine, right? It's knowing when you have a victory. Right? Remember that horizon versus where you're at versus where you started? Don't get caught up in that horizon mindset. Okay? You have got to celebrate the small victories. That's what I did this whole first part of the episode is look at how far I've come. I got on the stage in the arena that I wanted. And it gave me juice. I've come so far in a year and I am going to go even farther in the next. Because I'm passionate about what I'm doing, I have a plan. And that's the thing that goes with the small victories is let them give you juice and fuel for your plan. I talked to every rep that has come in that's been with the Luminous, N-Mode, Tixel. What would be if I said in 3 years I accomplished this, what would you say that was impossible? No way he did that. I asked my associate, 3 years, what's an impossible goal? And then I looked at the 3-year plans, whatever they give me. I'm like, okay, now we're going to do it in 2 years. What do we have to do? It gets rid of all the noise and you focus on signal. You find out what is going to matter. The analogy that I'll give you is a father and son. The son is a tennis player and he wants to play college tennis and he's practicing, doing his stuff, right? And one day someone came and talked to the dad and son and they're like, hey, or maybe the dad's talking to his son. He's like, hey, son, you're working to play college tennis. Let's forget college. You're gonna go pro. Is what you're doing right now good enough to get you to go pro? He's like, absolutely not. He's like, well, what'd you do differently? Well, I wouldn't practice here. I practice here. I stopped doing these other things. I'd focus on this. And the dad's like, well, if that's the case, why don't we just do those things to get you better? And that might get us to college. If that's going to get you to pro, that's what we have to do. That's obviously going to make you better to get to college, right? Like, oh, right? When you make that big thing and focus yourself down, you're going to see all the things that don't matter. There's this practice that is fucking gorgeous, perfect. There's this practice. It's gorgeous. It's what I thought the opportunity I was looking for. But I did that, I asked myself that question, where do I want to be? And when I got laser focused, it just doesn't make sense. And I can't talk myself into it. And it's strategy. What am I willing to give up to get what I think I want to get, where I want to be? Crazy how good it feels to know what makes sense. Does it line up with your goals? So do that for yourself. Think about where you want to be in 10 years and say, now I'm going to do that in 2. What changes would you have to make to get there in 2 years? And you got to think, no, like it's not a linear, like, well, I'd see 5 more patients or I do. No, to get that 10-year goal in 2 years, you have drastic changes. Something like, well, my revenue per patient is like, 500. I need to be at 1,000. I need $1,000 per patient revenue. Okay, how do you do that? Well, I'm definitely not doing Medicaid anymore. I'm not doing managed care. I got to get rid of that stuff. And right. You see what I'm saying? It's that's the thinking. Because what you do invariably is like, well, I could open up the schedule. I could see 5 more patients on a Tuesday, 5 more patients on a Wednesday. I got 10 more patients total. I'm going to get there quicker. You bought yourself maybe 6 months, right? And that's how I used to approach it. So I'm not calling you out. This is how I was like, because I had that journal entry, that question, that hypothetical presented to me before, and that's how I approached it until someone clarified it for me. I wasn't getting where I need to be. But now that I've made these big things, Tixel, in mode, and then being in the environment, being around these people, you will get a vision for what makes sense. You'll see. That's how I am. I see them like I want what they're doing. What do I need to change right now to be where they're at? We can do it all. So small victories do that. The last thing I'll tell you that has really been funny and comical during this time is that one of my bucket list things that I had on my bucket list journal was to coach football. 15 years out, 14 years out, I hadn't done it. Took the leap. I'm coaching 7th and 8th grade. Perfect for what I'm doing. I am working less than I ever have in my life. I'm committing hours like 4:30 to 7:30, 3 hours a day, Monday through Thursday. Longer on Wednesdays because we have games that go till like 9, 4:30 till 9. And then we're doing the best we've ever done in clinic, right? What do you need to be successful? A plan and zero time. And you will get there. You will make it happen, right? So just things to tell you that I've come so far. I'm so stinking proud. But I want you guys to see that as well. I guarantee where you're at from January to now, you've made steps, you've made accomplishments, but you're probably not at that horizon. And you may make the mistake of saying this was not a solid year. And that's going to take away your energy, take away your juice, take away your growth. See those things. Look at the things I talked about, right? Simplify, commit, celebrate those small victories, and have a plan. It sounds really simple. It is really stinking hard to do it day in and day out. But it's how I've had the biggest growth of my career. You guys can do it too. That's what I have. We'll have more for you next week. Where, oh where has the time gone? We are to the closing thought of the episode, and today I will leave you with this thought. And this is a personal, just Nick Lillyism, is take big shots. Network like crazy. The more I've talked to people, the more opportunities I've got in life. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there to ask for what you want. When I talk to reps, when I talk to colleagues, I am straight up, transparent, open. I'll share you everything I'm doing. Let me know what you're having because what you're doing. My sincere belief in this world is that you can hear everything that I do to a T, but it comes down to the execution, the discipline to do it day in and day out, because it sounds good for a day, week, month, but to do it for 5 years straight is really stinking hard. Case in point, this podcast and the YouTube videos I've made, I think I've been doing them both for about 5 years. Just now are they starting to get any kind of like traction or notice or give me benefits? But I told you, I was on a big stage with giants in the industry and I didn't flinch. And that is because I've done this day in, day out. I'm comfortable in the arena because I've put myself in those positions. And it's been uncomfortable. I've fallen on my face. I've looked stupid, but I'm not afraid to fail. And that's something that really held me back early on in my career as I was worried about how people would perceive me. Now I don't really care. I just want to get better and I want to be in the arena with those people we all look up to. You can do it too. That's what I have. Dr. Lilly out.